Hi, Arthur. All right, I'm going to do your 30-minute spiritual healing now. So let me just relax and connect with you, and we'll see what Spirit shares, okay? It just feels disconnected. It feels like I'm alone in a really big, dark room. I'm picking a clover. It has 3 petals instead of 4. I am looking at it. There is an eerie breeze here. It feels empty. I feel like I'm alone in a big world and it's dark. I possess this small gift of nature. This is important. This number 3. There's a face here. It's taller. It's got sort of, it's wearing a dark cloak. It's a whitish face, but it has icicles on it. Icicles on the arms and the hands. The fingers are kind of long and scraggly. It's got kind of like a death or dark sort of reflection. Nothing evil about it. That's just it. It's not evil, but it's clearly of a darker nature. He is showing me night where there are no stars, but we are at the height of grass blades and we can hear the sort of song of the insects. They're showing me insect legs that are rubbing together and making noises. He shows me a dark sort of, it's just an empty branch, basically. And I don't see it attached to a tree or anything. Just see all these grass blades and then this just barren branch. And it's dark, no stars. And there's sort of, it's not necessarily a breeze, but there's such a soft breeze. But it just feels, you know, that eerie silence where it just, there's nothing else but me. Although there are sounds of insects, there is also sounds of nothing at all, or just, it's just me, or loneliness. I'm picking up a hat, a straw hat, and I'm going twirling in my hands and putting it on my head. There's something kind of country about it. Even sort of like suspender kind of thing, and then having like something in the mouth, like some hay or straw or something. I don't know what but you know what I mean. It's one of those pieces hanging out the mouth. Really good posture. But there's nothing to look at. It's dark everywhere. I'm wondering, what is it that you see? What is it that you see? You're very proud, though. You're standing tall, and you really exhibit self-accomplishment. But yet, what you see, there's nothing around here but darkness everywhere. What are you proud of? What have you accomplished? You're walking towards some men, you're giving them a handshake. They're showing you there's some sort of pin or badge they're putting on you. You're showing me that you wear this. Like you got an award or something. You are still standing tall, walking slowly down some stairs. It's kind of interesting. You've got like a mayor effect. Like I'm the mayor of this town, walking down some stairs. And you got your chin up and you're saying hello. You know, but there's nobody here. You exhibit so much confidence. And just self-sure. You just are sure of yourself, right? I'm watching you, but I really want to see all of the smiling faces that are happy to see you. I want to see color. I want to see more living things, more reasons to be in a state of celebration. We are returning back to the scene where you are interacting with this entity. This entity is sharing something made out of ice, is some sort of plant that is being handed to you, and it kind of looks like the clover, but it's icy. You accept the gift. You show your hands, you're sometimes like this and then hands shackled. Sometimes you feel cold. It's interesting. You look like Pee Wee Herman in this scene. I mean, you're wearing the Pee Wee Herman getup. Like, you have the Pee Wee Herman haircut with red lips, and then, you know, the gray suit and the white. And, I mean, you look just like Pee Wee Herman. And you're on your knees, and you're like this, but you're sort of pleading right now. I am watching the interaction taking place. I am not to intervene or comprehend it any further than this. It is appropriate. This interaction and the meaning is extremely appropriate, and there's value to this for your soul. Everything about it, even if it looks grim, right? It looks pretty grim. It's very positive, and there's nothing but love that I feel in my heart as I am experiencing the scenes. There's something definitely missing. There's so much missing, right? But yet they're showing me that there's a lot of reason to know that this is all positive, despite what it looks like. You feel like this. You feel somehow chained or imprisoned or shackled to this experience, and it's just a big empty room. I've got the clapper, and I'm doing to get the lights to turn on. I tried to turn the lights on, but they're turning off instantly. Again, they're indicating it is not yet time. I'm saying it is not time to smile, it is not time to dance, it is not time to rejoice. It is time for this still. I cannot illuminate this space. That's what I'm saying to my spirit guide. Even he says, please be patient. I say, okay. I'm respectful. I understand. I do understand there's something very, very important here taking place. It's learning. It has to do with learning for you. They're showing me you have the courage to stand up, to actually show that there are no shackles, you can evaporate them. They show me you walking through a doorway that I can't even see because it's so dark in here, and you're opening it, and then you're entering into a new realm of experience. And it's welcoming you as well. They show me that was like a massive barn. It even has red and sort of white as well. It's full of light out here. They're showing me you look like Pee Wee Herman. They do. They show me that. But it's sort of like Pee Wee's always on some adventure, you know? And he's always on a journey, right? And it's always kind of topsy-turvy. And so they show me you are walking and you don't know what's going to happen next. You're just going into the next thing. It could be anything, right? It's your big adventure. There's some serious side to you. It's kind of funny because Pee Wee Herman is always, he sort of doesn't trust people, but he's sort of really funny about everything, you know? There's something like that here. Kind of a serious Pee Wee Herman side, not really the jokester. It's like he's really serious. He really is serious about his journey, but he also has that kind of an ability to be funny too, but I'm just watching you moving through just a random, I mean, there's grasses that are really thick. They're not your average grass blades, they're like cabbage grass or something. And the trees are sort of, the leaves just seem really thick too. And you're continuing to walk on your journey towards who knows what. It's dark outside. It was sunlight and then the sun went down and now it's dark. You haven't really gotten very far. You ride a motorcycle sometimes. They've got a helmet. You're kind of like a, you know, a badass, but you're Pee Wee Herman, you know, so it's funny. He's got the Pee Wee Herman look, and he's like on the motorcycle, like vroom, vroom, like he's a real motorcycle man. But it's like Pee Wee Herman on the motorcycle doesn't, you know, isn't always very successful. You show me you can go, whoa, you know, tilt it and then, you know, come down and keep going. You're a bad boy. I mean, there's like flame and the sound of engine and movement blasting off. You're going forward with momentum, and now everything is stopping really quick. It goes, vroom, 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 put. No, not going anywhere. And now you're just, there's like a kickstand we put down, and it like leaning, you're taking your helmet off. You're not getting very far very fast. It feels like sometimes you walk in one direction and you decide, you know, this is I'm getting somewhere, before you decide you're going to switch it up just a little bit and this is going to make progress faster, and yet it doesn't get you anywhere any faster. It just feels like you're trying to get somewhere and it just isn't going fast enough. Even when you switch it up, get a motorcycle that goes really fast, you still aren't getting very far. Not meant to. They're saying you're still in connection with this version of an experience. It was part of a dream to find relief or release, but it hasn't fully manifested yet. They asked me if I know when it will happen. Some part of you looks sadly at this frozen clover. Your heart feels that way sometimes. You're starting to share real emotions with me now. This is important because you need to be accessing your real emotions about things. If you feel like your heart is frozen sometimes, you need to express that. It's cold in your heart. It's very, very cold in your heart. It's not what you want either, but you aren't sure. You're crying, but you're not exactly crying because you don't exactly want to admit this either. There's something about a yellow songbird that wants to sing to your heart. There's something about you not ready for that kind of warmth yet. Something feels vulnerable about allowing that kind of love to enter into your heart, to thaw it out or warm it. I'm exploring giving you a hug to see how you react towards that kind of affection. You're convinced I don't understand. You're showing me flowers, then you throw them to the ground. This was empty all along. You can't find a way to fill this frozen heart with the right kind of love or meaning. And the only way you can do it is when you choose to thaw your heart out through being vulnerable to love, true love. You need to experience vulnerability, and that goes against what you believe you are as a man, you know? You're a man, you don't cry at the romance movies. You know, you as a man are not you know, a crybaby, so to speak. There's part of you that needs to allow yourself to feel emotionally vulnerable. It's important. You're on the brink of really expanding. You're on the brink of it. If only you'll allow the songbird to sing to your heart, to warm it. Do you allow that to happen? Would you let that happen? Let's see. I am having the songbird sit on your finger. I'm asking you to place your finger and the songbird close to your heart. You're showing me you look like Pee Wee Herman again. You are looking away from the bird as it's singing to your heart. Saying it's okay to look at the bird. You're violent. You're struggling. Some part of you's like, this is absurd. This is just stupid. I mean, you just feel like this bird is just so dumb, this whole thing. But yet, this is exactly why your heart is cold. Because to you, this is stupid. I'm still watching this here. This entity, I'm telling you, as dark as he looks, he's very kind and patient with you. He too is cold and understands the experience of cold emotion. As in, he really is waiting for the day when you allow your heart to welcome this song of love. That helps to melt this ice. And it has to do with some part of your setting your ego, just set it to the side to know that it's okay. Again, there's just real, like, the rubber band is really tight and it could snap or break at any time. Like, me saying that is just, you know, there's nothing with my ego. There's nothing. I am warm. I am not ice. There's something just feels not, it's okay. It is okay. So I'm allowing you to choose to experience this. And I'm talking to your friend here. And we are both agreeing that you're on the brink of something far warmer. And the warmth itself will create illumination in this big empty space. More light, more meaning, more value than anything else you could possibly imagine. Don't be afraid to feel love, real, genuine love. Love that helps your heart to heal, nurtures your heart. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Your heart, when I touch it, it is even melting. And it's still, the ice, even after it melts, the heart is so cold that it burns my finger. It hurts my finger very bad. I see the heart is not beating. Without love, you're not going to feel the full spectrum of feeling alive. I am sharing love with your heart. You are welcoming the experience. You don't mean to be this way. You just had a hiccup and you're okay. You're welcoming the experience now. You seem to get that it's more important than anything else. I'm looking into your heart and I'm sharing images of love with your heart. I'm just going to close my eyes. I'm helping your heart to feel the warmth of sunlight. It's more than that, though. Within the warmth of sunlight is so many different memories of love that create warmth, memories that warm your heart, even on cold days. On a cold day, you could think about this moment when, and you don't seem to notice how cold you are, because the memory is so warm. Do you have memories like that? Memories that help plants grow, memories that help human beings grow, memories of real love that create growth. Your heart is not so cold to my touch now, but it is still cold. You want to feel more warmth in your heart? You're actually saying that. You're understanding what it takes to heal from this experience. I've created a butterfly, and I'm sharing its energy of transformation with your heart. It's interesting because your heart is it's sort of a heart, right? But some part of it looks kind of like a butterfly too. And so the butterfly goes into it in the same shape that your heart is in. There's something about the hue. I'm doing this work, but the heart feels black and not red. It's just overwhelmed right now. It's turning dark. It's showing me something. It's some kind of gruesome scene. It's sort of, okay. How do I define this? Basically, you got strung up and pulled upward, and you're hanging against a wall, sort of bobbing like this. Your feet aren't touching the ground. There's some image of a girl that's screaming, and she's sort of neck, and somebody is putting her down against something. And it's dark in here. She's wearing kind of a seductive outfit, but she's screaming. You have no control what is going on. You are powerless. You're just forced to watch what takes place. Some part of you is dying now. You're welcoming death now, completely. You're surrendering. Nothing else matters. There's no more screaming. There's no more pain and suffering. You are leaving this experience. Actually wholeheartedly leaving it. You don't want to know anything more about it. You're done. Soul leaves the body. I don't know anything else about what happens. Some part of you, it's weird because there's an odd selfishness. I don't get why there would be a reflection of selfishness. Like you're really selfish to have not tried harder to help her. You're really selfish to have just said, I'm done, I just want to be out of this, and not actually care about what happens to her. There's a weird reflection of feeling really selfish. You were not hesitating at all in your choice to leave the life at all. I mean, it was just like, I don't care, I'm done with the life, and since I'm done, it doesn't matter what happens to anybody else because I'm done with my part in this experience. And the thing is, there's an odd reflection of selfishness. I can't say that you should have to feel selfish for that, because you really were. Okay, I'm supposed to stop there. I'm not supposed to say anything else. I'm just supposed to stop with there's a weird feeling of selfishness. I'm waiting for the next thing. There's been pictures going through, but they've been so faint. And there's an angel now standing against a sort of an old wooden table. It kind of has like a piratey feel to it, and like sort of spreading out a map, a rolled map or something. And we're sort of putting some tick marks on here to mark some places. Now this table is being turned upside down. There's some gruesome sort of, the angel is looking like a woman that's sort of, I don't know, she looks gruesome. She looks like she's wax that is melting in her sort of, there's black tears streaming down. She's got some odd outfit on. There's something with a butcher knife. There's something violent, but it's not exactly violent. It just has a creepy nature to it. It's kind of like a horror movie. We don't really know what it means, but it's just kind of got a horror effect to it. There's something creepy about the floorboards. I can hear them creak as she walks. She's wearing something like it's a hooped out dress at the bottom. It is fancy. She has black velvet gloves. Her dress is sort of a red, and it's got lace on it. She's got quite a hat on, too. It's beautiful. She's wearing very beautiful clothing. There's an interaction between her and a male, and they seem to be excited about a property of land or something of that kind. He's dressed extremely fancy as well. It's sunny. They're both smiling at each other. They're hopeful or joyful about what they're building together. Nothing evil or concerning about this. It's quite natural. They have money. They have a very nice vehicle. They don't even have to drive it. They have somebody driving them. It's interesting because he sort of looks like an old school James Bond in that way, sort of driving an old school car or something. But she's dressed more like the 1800s or something, like a Southern belle or something like that. Car has a greenish colored tint to it. I'm supposed to indicate they are two lovers that are prospecting for property or land to build a home and start a family, and they are well-to-do. They are financially well off. Everything is splitting apart. I'm seeing literally a country that looks like Italy, and it is splitting in half. You get one half, I'll get the other half. Broken dreams. It's very difficult to push through to get more information related to this. I'm seeing what is sort of like a man who's aging way faster than he should, and he looks like he's dead, although he's still alive, and he just looks like he wrinkled really quickly. He just aged just ridiculously fast. That's all I'm seeing. Something hurts about his hand. Like he has arthritis really bad in his hand. He feels alone and it's dark. He sometimes has trouble walking. Nobody's there to help him. He feels, I mean, he literally has given in to self-pity. He's almost creating a life around it as well. He doesn't want anybody to be there to help him because that gives him more reason to feel sorry for himself. If nobody's there to help him, then now he's just a case like that. It just, you know, it just feeds into that part of the mind, you know? He's not necessarily angry. He just feels like this is all there ever was left to life. His dreams stopped there. He had no more new dreams. And therefore, he just allowed this to be the rest of his experience of life. It felt like he was hung up on a noose, and there's nothing you could do about anything else going on. He fades out very quickly. He has nothing left to hold on to. He does not care what happens to her. He has no feelings or care about anything that happens to her. It doesn't matter if it's bad or it's good. It could even be so much as he hopes he wouldn't care if she was in the worst. He hates her guts so much that he doesn't care the worst could happen to her, and he just would not care. He's let go. Some part of him would feel happy if something bad happened to her. Some part of him just feels like she deserves it. They aren't telling me what caused this rift or change. They aren't showing that to me. They're only helping me to understand how this created a cause and effect for his emotions, his mind, his feelings, his escape from the life, his choice to leave as quickly as possible, and not to care at all. But there was something selfish about it that he only realized at the end. After his soul left the body, did it come to a collective? There was something selfish that he aligned with, but would not give himself credit for that. He wouldn't put his finger on himself being selfish. That would just have been out of the question. However, as a soul, it was understood that that was the true reality, despite whether or not the human mind could believe it, perceive it, understand it. That's what they're saying. This is an important story. This is an important message of wisdom for you. You are to contemplate this and decide what it means to you. This is a gift. They're talking about this entity with the ice is also a master of sharing. He's loving. I mean, it doesn't matter what he looks like. I actually think he's amazing. His wisdom is extraordinary. And he really is sharing messages of love. They might be a darker flavor, but they are to create a ripple of self-awareness, because he really wants you to release. He really wants you to feel freed from this shackle or experience the freedom to feel warmth in your heart. He really wants to free you. He wants you to experience illumination, but he can't give that to you. You have to choose it. He can only inspire you to have new versions of clarity, and then choose that for yourself. He can't choose it for you. So that's all that they're going to share with me, okay? So thank you for this experience, and I definitely am wishing you the best in your life, all right? And thank you too for being open-minded to sharing this so we can all learn. It's important. These messages of wisdom are touching all of our hearts. It's helping us to see more about ourselves too. It's important. So thank you. And for those of you watching, if you're interested in experiencing spiritual healing or psychic reading with me, please visit my website at abbynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you for watching.